Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, and of all praise it's the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge it, Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, we're going to get into a little bit of information talking about some special areas in the earth. We're going to be looking at a book called Earth Grids, The Secret Patterns of Gaia's Sacred Sites. This one right here. And since we know we're seeing a lot of events, a lot of plagues popping up all over the world, things happening in certain areas, certain energies we know that are definitely present all over the world. It seems as if there's a whole lot of energy in one part of the earth that's also right now sucking in many of the people around the area of Moscow. And it seems as if there's a lot of energy there, bringing in NATO forces, bringing in American forces, taking soldiers from our lands back over there to those lands. And you also got Russia, and you got people just congregating in a certain area that's close to one of these sacred sites. And I'm sure there's energies in all these different sites. I know we're dealing with a lot of energy right now. So, when things are happening right now, and you're seeing people doing things that don't make a lot of sense. It's because those are the times that we're in, and we know the ley lines are activated. We know there's a lot of energies, and there's a lot of definite prophecies the Most High is bringing to fruition right now. We're going to take a look at some of these sacred areas right now and how they're connected, okay? And then kind of looking at what's happening. Like I said, with all of a sudden, we've finished up our 400 years, we've gotten into our new year, and things are definitely ramping up worldwide. So let's take a look here, because we got the ley lines. So it's like we know that there's a whole lot of energy right now, and it's coming to a head. And right now, the destruction of this Babylonian empire is definitely something that is going on right now. I'm going to read a little bit right here, talking about the great circles on Earth. Okay. The great circles on Earth. Let me get it real quick here. And how, the Gentiles are always trying to make it seem as if they've discovered these great circles, or they're making these great discoveries, and asking questions like, did our people or did the ancient people know of these things? They're always doing those kinds of things, okay? Says a great circle, okay, is a circle on a sphere whose center lies at the center of that sphere, so that it cuts into two equal hemispheres. All longitudinal and meridians are great circles. The equator is the only one longitudinal. Let's see here. This is great. It was a great circle. I don't have a really good picture on here. It says all other latitudes form lesser circles on the globe. The UVG grid is composed entirely of great Earth circles, all 121 of them. Below is shown Jim Allison's incredible Great Earth Circle, viewed along its equator. This formidable alignment takes in Nazca, Machu Picchu, Tassili, um, this Ajir, Siwa, Giza, Angkor, Wat, Easter Island, and many, and many others. As we shall see in the pages that follow, there are other reasons to take specific notice of this alignment. Were the ancients conscious, okay, of this circle? Were they recording something? Shown, shown top is a section of a great circle proposed by Robin Heath that takes in Stonehenge, Delphi, Giza, Mecca, and the Ohio Serpent Mound. Now, how could you have all these things built in these certain areas on these certain lines and not know it? You think it's all just an accident? The only way that they can actually explain that is to act like these are all accidents. Remember now, we weren't supposed to have had this knowledge of this of these other lands. These lands were supposed to have been hidden. See, they were hidden from them. They weren't hidden from our people. We had all this knowledge. And that's just proof that we had this knowledge because of all of the great buildings, okay, that are set on these certain lines. And we're going to take a look at that in a minute. Okay. So they can't keep on acting as if this all was just an accident. We had those the knowledge. It goes back to Enoch. It goes back to when he was taken up and he was watching the cords being set down by the angels, and he passed down that information to his posterity, to his to his children. And see, they didn't get any of this information because it was all hidden from the rest of the world. So then when they got it, they made it seem as if, oh, well, how did the ancients know about this? Well, of course they did. And you're going to tell by, and a little bit when you look at some of the pictures, what was built on these lines. It says in the 1980s, Glastonbury visionary Robert Kuhn produced an interesting planetary chakra map. And that's what we're going to be looking at in a minute. Okay, lower opposite with two great dragons, dragon lines encircling the globe. He called the pair of them the rainbow serpent. The British part of it aligns down the Michael Mary lines. Okay, hold on quick. Let's say in on page 7. The two currents do not form a perfect Earth circle, but they do encircle the Earth. Okay, so you got the one down at the bottom, and it has those different areas that it hits. I want to say that was this formidable alignment takes on in Nazca, Machu Picchu, Tassili, okay, in Algier, Siwa, Giza, Angkor, okay, Wat, Easter Island, okay, and many others. I think that's the one here on the bottom of this page down here, okay. So you're gonna have like all these like Machu Picchu. You're gonna have all this these places like that built, and you think it's just all gonna be an accident? I mean, come on, Giza, Pyramid of Giza, all those Easter Island. See, they had knowledge of the whole world. It was they weren't pretty much just relegated to one little small section. And see, that's what they've done even with prophecy now. They weren't familiar with all these different understandings about the whole earth or the world. So they relegated our Bible into a little itty bitty area in the so-called Middle East. Remember now, they came over to our lands. King James came to our lands in the early 1600s, and then all of a sudden went back and produced the 1611 Bible. So he came over here to the Americas to get that information. And then when they wrote the Bible, it was supposedly all happening in their so-called Middle East area. See how that works? How that's backwards doesn't make any sense. When our people, before they came over to the Americas, we had knowledge of their lands as well as ours. They had, they had understanding of these, these ley lines and these power structures and everything else that's underneath the land. We already had all that. They're the ones that didn't have it. That's why they get this information so late. Just like the knowledge of the planets, in our solar system. Remember, and we read in other books about how the Europeans didn't get this information until way later, 1800s, 1900s, about the other planets. When our people had already had those thousands of years, they actually had such a great knowledge and understanding of it that they built structures. Like, okay, right? They built structures like Teotihuacan. That's actually a map of the solar system. So the ancients they're talking about are our people. The ones that had this understanding were our people. Given that information was given to us by the Most High. So now we fast forward to right now. We got pictures here at the top. We got one here at the bottom. I took a bigger one so we can really get a better look at it. Okay. Okay. So take a look over here. You can see these right here. Look at these lines right here. How our people were already building on these lines a long time ago. So we got, what is that? At the top, right over here, and the west coast of America, right here. But you got first chakra, sacral base of the spine or root, Mount Shasta. Palenque, right there, which many people think is actually, you know, where Solomon lived, King Solomon. Get that gate 8 right there. Palenque and El Tule, okay? You got another gate 10 over there in the crater of Maui. But you go down to the second chakra, Lake Titicaca right there. Keep on going down to gate 12 here, over here in South Africa. Oops. But you got another one kind of going up here. Check this one out right here above Africa right there. Look at all these points that it's hitting, okay? Fourth chakra, heart, okay? Glastonbury right there. And Shaftesbury. Then right here, this one, look at this one. Gate 13, Moscow. Only opens if the other 12 are healthy. So now you got all these different, forces being pulled to this general area right there. Gate 13. Okay. I don't believe these people are getting this information on their own. They're just coming up with this. They just get our information and they just change it up and make it seem as if they're the ones that came up with this stuff. Our people were well aware of the chakras and everything else. It's the seventh chakra right there. Mount Kailas in Tibet. You got the fifth chakra right there, the throat chakra, Great Pyramid, Sphinx, and Mount of Olives right there. Okay. You go down here, gate 7, the four mountains of Bali, third chakra, solar plexus right here. Right there in Australia, when you got all these different plagues going on with the mice and the spiders. Okay. The Olga's right there, rocks the Olga's right there. And you got gate 11 in New Zealand. Okay, you got all these different things going on. You got another one here, gate 9, Mount Fuji in Japan. So you got all these different things going on right there. You got these circles and how they're meeting, and look at all the different places that they're hitting to make these circles and what's inside of them. Okay, definitely look at the ones over here in the Americas. Palenque is definitely a huge, sign right there. That's actually a very special place right there, Mount Shasta. There's all these different special places worldwide, and you're kind of representing the different chakras, okay, of the body and everything else. But like I said, I'm just looking at the 13th one. I'm looking at Moscow. I'm looking at how, there's all this activity right now, especially right after, our new year, right after our Passover. And it's been picking up, okay, after our feast of unleavened bread. It's just been picking up more and more and more. So there's more energies, in these different places worldwide right now. I mean, every day there's more information coming about, the buildup over there in Russia. And I guess today Biden asked to have like a meeting or a summit with Putin, and he told him, "Hell, nah, we're not going to get together and meet." He refused to have a meeting. Those are the times that we're in. Before they were all working, the energies were to de-escalate, and just kind of live our life. They know that their time is over with. The Most High is like letting them, hey, there is no going back. There is no reconciliation. Your time is over with. These energies, all over the world. It's just a different vibe going on right now. Most High is going to cleanse our lands. that's exactly the vibe and the energies that are going on right now. Now the Most High is going to use the other nations to do it. I'm gonna have a quick little video for you guys to see right here how this guy breaks this down. I'll make sure I'll leave his video in the description box. Okay, but he kind of breaks down some of this information right here about the gates.
Known as the Earth Star, and it's a map of the world, as you can see. It's a map of the world showing all the sacred sites on the planet, and they exist on what we call nodal points. This was a very sacred shape, according to Buckminster Fuller, and even 2,200 years ago, we had Plato. Plato was saying that if you want to think of the world, think of it as 12, a sphere that's been sewn with 12 skins. And here, if we look closely, this is similar to the 12 skins, but it's called rhombic triacontohedron. It's exactly this shape here, but it's made up of 30 diamonds. And the reason why this is important is that it's all based on the golden ratio. So I'll put that one down. So it's got 60 faces, 62 edges, 30 diamond faces. Now we're going to zoom in onto Australia here. If you look at this diamond here, that's called a golden diamond because the distance from there to there in Fibonacci numbers, if this was 13, the long axis, this is called 8. The ratio of 8 to 13 is approximately 1.6 1.618, the golden ratio. And if you look at the center of that diamond, we have in Australia a very sacred place called Grid Point 44. We call it Wilpena Pound. It's our sacred site that's very close to Uluru, the giant red rock, which is above that nodal point. So we all know that one here. If we turn it around, the main one that the whole world knows is called Grid Point 1. So here we see Egypt in this golden diamond. And if we had to measure it, the distance of that long axis is 2,200 miles, and it would be balanced by the shorter axis of 1,400 miles. So grid point 1 was the center of the ancient Atlantean model. Um, I'll just give you one more point. There's lots of points, but if we turn this around here, just one more point, you'll see that this is that sharp point there is called the Bermuda Triangle. There's been a lot of mysteries and boats missing and sightings happening at this intersection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the center of this pentagonal geometry, there's been huge magnetic aberrations and tectonic plates that have been shifting. So scientists love geometry because it helps us to map the Earth, and by mapping the Earth, we realize that the Earth is a fractal of who we are, and the Earth is a fractal of the Sun and the greater cosmos. So, by understanding the measurement of the Earth, which is what geometry means, geo is the Earth, and metry means to measure. So, when we measure the Earth, we're really understanding the very fabric of who we are. I'd like to introduce to you.
All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.